saturated fats in like meat products and yeah, meat especially. And it's unfortunate, but to maximize flavor, guys, you need to know this. And the science to it, I'll tell you now, because recently there's this sort of rave about Wagyu beef, right? It's actually pronounced Wagyu.
Okay.
And this is because it's so much marbling. And what marbling is it's like fat strips that are like in between
The
meat
meat,
fibers
yes.
and in between the muscle fibers. And when it's perfect, like on this piece of Wagyu steak, like on most of them, you get that fat distribution so widespread on the piece of meat that when you cook it, and what it takes is the science is 55 degrees Celsius, really that fat begins to melt. Okay, so by the time you put it on the stove or on the cooking medium, rice stand or whatever it is, this has always its flavor into the meat on the just make sure that you choose wisely when you're choosing meat, especially you need that band of fat or that marbling that it's unbelievable, I think.
Right, so if you're just joining us, we call this segment Your Chef, Your Health. And joining us in the studio is Chef Shingi, who's an Ultimate Brine Master South Africa participant, an entrepreneur, and operates a business called Outdoor Kitchen Chef. And if you've got any questions about what we're talking about, you can hit us up on WhatsApp. That's on 0772162651.
Yeah, so why we need fats? Now, we need fats for us. We can't live without them, it's an important part of our diet, and that's because primitively it was like something that they discovered
Oh yes, there's something about warmth and fat. Yes,
exactly. And so it's something that our bodies evolved knowing to need. Okay, so we can't live without them. And I think it's special that we've obviously learned how to moderate the intake and to learn which ones are the good ones, which ones are the bad ones. And I love, when we're talking about flavor now, my oils are really special to me. Olive oil. That's a fact in itself. So let's pick the good sort of fat in our cooking. And I think vegetable oils, no harm. It's actually quite healthy for you because it's got lots of unsaturated fats. It helps you digest food. Sometimes when you eat, did you know, like sometimes you eat a raw carrot and you think you're doing good for yourself, but it's gonna go in and right out.
Yep.
But because it doesn't have fat to help it digest and to help your body receive it, sometimes it just goes to waste. And you think you're doing a good job, healthy life, but you need to know how much of it to take and what exactly is in the contents of the fat that you've chosen. So olive oil is special because we always sprinkle this onto our salads, and when we do, like, it just brings that, if it's good quality olive oil, it brings this sense of acidity, pops, okay, that coefficient of friction when you're chewing and your salad leaves are sort of disappearing away in your mouth. You need that, when you're chowing a salad. And the beauty. So one thing you need to know, guys. So olive oil, when choosing olive oil, it's not like wine. When you have wine stay for longer, it becomes more valuable, apparently. But with oil, the moment it's pressed, that's why cold pressed olive oil is a bit of a hit more than any other. It's got this acidity, so any kind of freshness, so. And where I'm going with this, Eva, is that we've crushed, we've made lots of our own oils, right, before, as traditional Zimbos and kumamisha unokuiwa doi
from the nuts, yes, and the sunflowers,
harnessing that flavor from crushing grains or like things that we're traditionally growing and using those oils to address our cooking in the kitchen. The amount of flavor we have in our lives, guys.
It'll be so rich, isn't it?
Oh, it's so important. And the Italians are always good salesmen. I always speak about this. They've had their oils spread all over the world because they knew they sold and over mafuta Mara no za, guys. Mara I can create it za. But like I say, too much of the oil, too much of mafuta fat is gonna be definitely not good for you. So yeah, just be careful of that, guys. We can have this conversation on the group. We've got a WhatsApp group that's always buzzing. People are chatting up and about. So feel free to send me a WhatsApp and you can join. My WhatsApp number is 0774 410 008. And yeah, we can continue this conversation on there. But yeah, guys, fat.
So we've got a question here that says, what about sesame oil?
Brilliant.
It's also perfect.
It's amazing. Yeah, sesame oil is quite a good oil for you. It comes from those small sesame seeds, right? And it's packed of flavor. You have such balanced qualities in it, so they're like micrograms that make these oils differ, right? But at the end of the day, you just want to find out which one has the least unsaturated fats, and then you can always
get good to go.
Yeah, enjoy it.
All right, next question. You said we must eat meat twice a week. Inenge Yakawanda says, coming from Pastor Mtambadiki.
All right. Yeah, that's a tricky question because there's always an amount that's fit for mwanamdikano jikales. So it's your GDA, which is your guided daily acceptable way of consuming whatever it is. And I think depending on how there's a body mass index that works with that, but generally 250 grams to 300 grams is quite
safe.
all right. Yeah, it's safe.
All right.
Anything after 300 is now like indulging, and you're going a bit deeper, which is most often the case. But hey, I say, like, if you're gonna have it 2 times a week, make up for it all the other days. Or cover a gift.
And then this one says, if asked for me, what type of meat can one eat twice a week in order to live longer?
Interesting. So game meat. Okay, meat that hasn't been like kept in a corral, like roadrunner chicken versus
a broiler.
Yeah, that's the type of difference that you're looking to sort of have help you choose. It doesn't matter what itsuro huku imombe unengo chingotarisa kuti iwe kwaona ya ichibva nekwa yeah, like
okay. I hope he's answered.
Yeah.
And this one says, is it healthy to replace vegetable oil with animal fat for daily cooking? When we were growing up, I would see my mother separating fat from meat and use the fat for daily cooking. This is coming from Tau in Popo Mablawayo.
Hey, that mother. Big up to that mother, because I think she was only doing that for the flavor, honestly. And that's because I said earlier, you get unsaturated fats in vegetables more than you do get in meat. In meat, it's like almost all saturated fat. So it's just for the flavor. And why she was doing that, why she was separating the meat and cooking the fat,
it's flavor,
is because she knew God's gift to man.
I also understand her. I mean, sometimes when you make a nice steak or a nice roast, we always use that cooking oil for veggies. It tastes very nice.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So this one says, how much eggs may I eat per week? It's protein, I think. How many eggs can one eat per week? Is there a thing to this?
Yeah, like, I don't know.
Because eggs actually, even if you're dieting or banting or whatever it is, they'll tell you that you need to eat eggs.
Yeah,
so
they are healthy for you. So, okay, again, because I've got this list in my head, you get a lot of saturated fats, unfortunately, from an egg, right? Again, because this is animal produce, right?
Yeah.
But it is healthy for you. It's packed with protein. It's also packed with other good stuff that you can enjoy, vitamins that are present in the egg that then don't need you to be considering the fat content of which, and especially if you're referring it to what we've just discussed. But look, I think 1 egg, 2 eggs a week is a day is fair.
What is it? 1-2 eggs per week?
No. A day in your breakfast is fair enough for the average Zimbabwean, I guess. Yeah.
All right. And then this one, personally coming from me, it's pairing and everything else. You've got someone out there who probably eats a lot of saturated oils, fats. Yeah. There should be a way of pairing these things. Like, if one can't, I'm gonna start eating meat 2 times a week. It's a process. I have to start cutting down as I go. But then until we get there, what can one pair their food that's got a lot of saturated fat with to actually make up for the balance.
I get you.
Yeah.
So I think it is again about balance all times. If you're gonna have fat in your plate, okay, choose it to come from one element and not both elements, right? So if you're gonna have your fat be coming from your meat, then you make sure to know balance on my veggies.
A lot of veggies.
And you're asking what you can pair it with. So now you don't want to add any more fat, and this is where even this last question becomes more relevant. What
something else.
And then you've balanced it out, and make sure you leave some. I mean, just so that the meat itself can actually have that some of its own fat help it to cook. So good question, and it's funny, it's ironic how the last question was. Yeah,
right. Then this one says, what about my chunks?
What about them?
That is saturated fat, but they're not. They come from corn, is it not?
No.
Well, where do they come from?
They come from soya, and soya
is a very
good contributor to like vegetable oil on our cooking in our everyday lives. So yeah, you do get saturated fats, unfortunately, and some unsaturated fats, but because it's a vegetable, again, you get more of the unsaturated fats in there, which is not so bad for you.
Right. So I want a quick yes or no on the next question.
Yeah.
Is bone broth healthy?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Your contact details, please.
Okay, guys. So my number is 0774 410 008. Catch me on WhatsApp. You can have a chat. And you can catch me on Facebook. You can catch me on Instagram as The Chef Life of Shingi. On Facebook, it's the OK Chef ZW.
Shingi, it's always a pleasure having you here. And we are Star FM, sounding good all the time. Time check, it's 11. It's time for the news.
This is